Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Adonai, and once again, affectionately, our aging rocker, Emmett, on my immediate left.
Yeah.
I worded it a little different this time.
Yeah.
And we'll see, it's 11:50 now, so hopefully you'll get through this, because we know you have some allergy
Yeah, I
issues
do,
here.
and thankfully on the
like that.
31st I'm seeing a specialist. I finally was referred to a specialist. But first, we must pray, oh God,
Go ahead.
and then bless our time, our food, whatever together, and our time and our show in Jesus' name.
I'm in agreement.
I won't be able to do the cafe next week, I don't think, because one of the stipulations the doctor, or the nurse told me, I won't be able to have any antihistamines all next week.
So
they want to flush all that out so that they can actually take the test to see what I'm allergic to, but antihistamines would mask it, so there'd be no results.
I see.
So next week, I'm going to be in misery. If I'm coughing and having, I won't have any relief. I just need a lot of prayers. Lord, protect me during that next week, in Jesus' name. But it's the only way to get to the bottom of this. And they'll run tests.
I'll pray for you here in a second here.
And see exactly what's going on, you know?
Uh-huh.
Because I'm allergic to something. I hope it's not a food allergy to something I love or something.
I'm going to freeze on that cord. Lord, thank you for this day and this show. Bless Emmett as he goes through his procedures, and I ask that he'll have a complete healing and that his sinuses will get well. In Christ's name.
Amen, yeah. I'm
Here,
not
pray
sick,
on
it's
this
just this
show.
allergy. Some sort of
pray.
grasses like back behind there, or dust, or some mold, or I don't know what, you know.
So have you been otherwise?
Quite well. It's
Good.
been very cold though. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I know. It was like below 10 last
Yes.
week. And that was very miserable.
Yeah. For the last couple of weeks, just starting in January, it has been below 10. It has been below wind chills.
I know.
Even in the daytime, it only has a high of 5 when the wind chill below 5 below.
Oh, yeah.
And even just on Monday or so, it was below 0 in the morning.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, I haven't been able to do much. Thankfully, a friend of mine got me to some groceries. I got some extra groceries, so I just kind of hibernated.
That's what I did, too.
Slept a lot, too. I'd sometimes just, I've had enough. I'm just going to go to bed at 9 o'clock. So I'm a
Yeah, I
night
hear
person,
you
go to
on
bed
that.
and then wake up at 9 a.m. or 10. Just, there's nothing for me to do if it's below 0.
I know it.
So just log everything up, pray, and then just hibernate like a bear. It's very nice and very peaceful. It's cold out there, but I can read nice, cuddly corduroy books and
yeah,
have
I
nice
know
dreams
that's
about
right.
teddy bears, But, oh, by the way, did I tell you, it was so cold. I didn't tell the audience this, but there was ice on my door. Even inside my apartment, there was a
Really?
region of ice. It got so cold and there was ice on my windows.
Uh-huh.
Oh my word, you could tell when it's below 0 because a bunch of ice collected on my door, even
Oh, yeah.
inside, yeah. That freezing. You needed extra sweaters, you needed layers if you're even going to go out a few feet.
Oh, yeah.
It was dangerous. Without that, you're going to end up dead. You could die of hypothermia in a few
Well,
minutes.
you've been to my apartment. You know what I did? I went to take out the trash when we had that below 0. All I did was walk down the stairs to the corner, just around the next building, like a circle, just to dump the trash. And do you know that I couldn't feel my fingers by the time I just went from around there up to the stairs just to go to the apartment? The tips were already frozen.
Yeah.
And they say you shouldn't pour hot water on frozen hands.
No,
Use
no.
warm water.
Right,
to avoid
right,
that
exactly.
tingling feeling. So, yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful state, Montana, and
Yeah.
Missoula's a beautiful city, but boy, it gets cold like cold in the winter.
Oh yeah, and I haven't had seen it this cold in years. I remember one time it was 60 below. Were you here when it was 60 below?
No,
0?
but I first came to Missoula in '96, and that first winter it was 25 below 0, and we're not talking wind chill.
Chills,
That
yeah,
was
just
the
20,
temperature.
yeah.
In fact, this church that I used to go to at the time, they canceled services for the sake
Yeah.
of the elderly.
Yeah,
That pastor said, "Hey, it's 25 below 0. You guys just go home."
exactly.
There's no
other-
sense
yeah.
heating this church up when it's that cold. So he stood out in front of the congregation off and on in his car, and he just sent everybody home. just as people pulled up, you said,
That's
go
good.
home.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
And I was kind of glad. It was 25
Yeah,
below
exactly.
zero. And I wasn't in Missoula at the time. I was in Billings at that time. But my goodness.
Yeah.
Yikes, it was cold. So.
Yeah. One time over in the Bitterroot, or even here, 1989 or 90, or was it 88? I think 89, 90, it got 60 below with the wind chill. Oh my word.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
dangerous. You just can't go, you can't even go to work. Yeah, a lot of people had to stay home from work. It was too dangerous. That was violently cold. The headline in the Missoulian was, "Baby, it's cold out there," and it was. It was 60 below. That can kill you. That can. Actually, I did something stupid. I did try to go to work. I was gonna take one of the buses, to my job at 4Bs, and I was sitting my parents' home over in Florida, the Bitterroot, and their dogs. I thought I could make it. I mean, it's not that cold.
Oh, you tried to walk it? Is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
and I had to go back home. I couldn't do it, and I had to call my boss saying, "I can't do this. I can't come in. I really tried. I couldn't." And she said, "Don't worry about it. Don't endanger your health or your life by going out there." Yeah, I had to just hibernate and stay home in the warm.
I hear you on that.
Yeah. It is too dangerous when it's 60 below.
What's scary is to get out there and then slip on the ice and it's nighttime and nobody sees you. And then you
you're
can't
in
call for
real
help
danger.
when it's that cold.
No cell phone, you're in real danger right there. It's a death sentence. That's whoa.
Playing this song.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I first moved to Lewiston, Idaho. Everyone knows how much I love Lewiston. The year was 1981, or was it 82? Well, I wasn't really I was only used to Tucson, Arizona, the hot weathers. I was not used to 10 above.
Yeah.
I walked to school in 10 above weather, and I was not used to this. Finally, I had to go to the nurses. I am so cold. I can't believe it. My gloves and my coat and everything. And basically, where's my coat? I think I left it out there. I just want to,
Oh, you go get
yeah.
it.
What in the heck happened to my coat? Well, anyway, I was bundled up
And I'm playing
up there.
Where Has My Little Dog Gone While Emmett has gone to get his coat. That's the name of the song, Where Has My Little Dog Gone? I'll do it again.
But anyway, and the nurse asked, "Were you playing in the snow? Did you wear your gloves?" "Yes, I did." "Were you playing in the snow?" "No, I wasn't. I'm just frozen. What in the heck kind of weather is this?" And I had, first time I ever had experienced 10 above, and I was not prepared for this.
Yeah.
You have to dress in layers, is what you have to do, and you have to kind of give your body time to acclimatize to a cold climate, because if you live in Tucson,
Oh, yeah.
or Hawaii like this, you're not used to this. You're not used to cold weather.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's
You're bred
true.
for a hotter climate.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And actually, I used to love hot weather, though my body has changed. I used to love 100-degree weather. I used to love it.
But you don't anymore?
No, something about my body, it's just too hot. It's just changed. And I used to love the heat. And everyone in Montana was complaining about the heat. It was 100 degrees. How can we survive this? I was just out in it, loving it. It felt good to my bones and my muscles, but anymore in my older age, at age 48, 49, I can't do it. I just can't. I'm 49, I can't do it. It's too hot for me. Yeah, so my body's definitely changing.
You know this song by chance?
No.
It's called The Tango. You never heard it before?
Nope. Oh yeah, I think I have somewhere. Was it on The Simpsons or something? Yeah.
I don't know.
I know you don't like The Simpsons too much.
It's alright, the cartoon.
I preferred their earlier stuff to their later work. They're not funny anymore, but when they were in their earlier years, that was funny.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop right there.
I think they've run out of ideas.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that. That show's been on, what, over 20 years now?
Yeah, they've
Without a
run out of
single
ideas,
run?
I think.
Yeah, let's see if I can figure out how to play that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me try it up here.
Yeah.
I can really figure it out if I really
it's
practice
social
it, you know.
commentary, and I can see having a family like that, or I can relate to a Homer Simpson, or there are kids out there like Bart Simpson. It's just funny as heck.
Something like that, but yeah.
And it's funny. It used to be anyway, but you know.
I think one of the funniest episodes of The Simpsons I ever saw. I don't watch that often, but I have to admit I do have a couple of episodes in my VHS collection at home because it's just what an iconic cartoon.
Yeah.
But anyway, one of the funniest episodes I saw of The Simpsons, at least to me, was the one when Bart was on the foreign exchange program.
Oh yeah.
And they sent him to France, and then the boy from France was sent to the Simpson home. And it turns out the boy from France was a spy.
Yeah.
So he was in Bart's old room on the computer, sending out secrets to France. And then I felt sorry for Bart Simpson in France because they kind of turned him into a slave and made him crush grapes or whatever it was and work out in the field. And it was, but it was amusing though. And the Simpson family was oblivious to this boy sending secrets to France. From the United States, and I just found that amusing. But only what's the name? Matt Groening, is that how his last name is pronounced? The creator of The Simpsons.
Matt
Groening is something like that. Well, anyway, only I was thinking he could think of something like that. An episode like that. And I mean, this boy was just being really nice. Hi, Mr. Simpson. Just really a nice little kid till they got in that room.
Yeah, I didn't think that was too funny, but one of my favorites
I just found it amusing for some reason.
Was Supersized Homer, where Homer wanted to get on disability. He wanted to gain the system. He couldn't find one, but there was a disability of hyper-obesity, so he force-fed himself and made himself gain tons of weight, and then he was on he worked from home, but he had to save the power plant, but the way they did it was hilarious. I thought that was funny. Oh yeah. Well, at least I'm getting taken to this allergy things, taken care of before spring, because spring is just 2 months away. It's getting on March 21st. So now I want to get this taken care of before the spring rains.
Yeah, well, don't worry about coming next week because you never know what's going to happen. I'm going to get off course for a second. I just briefly want to congratulate Donald Trump. He's going to be sworn in tomorrow. And I'm not going to get into all of the political aspects of it, but wow, can you believe it? 2017, and we have a 45th president coming up.
Amazing. Yeah.
I just think that's just, it is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And I will be watching the inauguration with
same here.
Interest and curiosity.
Definitely.
I know there are people protesting, which I think they should not be.
Yeah,
and I normally don't talk about religion or politics, so I don't want to really get into politics necessarily. But I think congratulations are in order.
Oh, absolutely.
I think congratulations should be in order for any presidential candidate.
Well, absolutely.
Not just Donald Trump. I'm just talking about the whole.
Yeah.
And I think it's been like that throughout the history of when this country had presidents. There's always going to be people who don't like the candidate. Like back with Lincoln, even
yeah, exactly.
Jefferson. Like Abraham Lincoln, boy, he sure had a lot of people dislike.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Goodness. But now it's 2017 is Donald Trump's turn.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
He's going to be probably getting a dose of what Lincoln got. And what's our first president?
George Washington.
George Washington, yeah. So, did I say Jefferson?
Yeah.
We did have a President Jefferson, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Well, anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that all these presidents have always had people not like them. The only difference is they weren't in the 21st century with the technology we have.
Yes.
They didn't have CNN News in your face and all that.
Yeah.
But now it's Donald Trump's turn.
Yeah.
And then 4 years or 8 years from now, it'll be the next candidate. They'll find something wrong with that person, probably.
Definitely. Would
But I
you
guess
ever-
that's the
Yeah.
I guess that's the way it works.
Yeah.
Aren't you glad you're not running for president?
Sometimes I wish I was. I could do a lot, but what Donald Trump went through. I don't want to get into politics, but it takes nerves of steel to go what you go through. Good people always get crucified.
Yeah, they
in
do.
the
They
primaries.
just really they bash your family and your life.
Yeah.
They'll do anything under the sun to try to keep you from
Yeah.
getting to that White House.
Exactly.
Like,
And
you
this is
know,
why good people don't run, because they know their head is going to roll if
Probably.
and that just Donald has nerves of iron to
Well, I
put
tell
up with
ya,
this horror that he went through.
Before I change the subject, I'll tell you, if I were the president of the United States,
Yeah.
I would hire Dr. Phil to follow me everywhere.
Oh,
I go.
yeah.
And I'd get therapy every night.
Yeah, you'd have to.
And then another thing I would do is I would have Jay Sekulow. I don't know if you know him or
Yes,
not.
I do.
The
It's
radio
fantastic.
guy.
Yes.
I would consult him.
You betcha.
And
You
I'd
betcha.
have that whole organization praying prayers every night.
Absolutely.
I mean, I like listening to Jay Sekulow.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, I've heard him on the
Because-
700 Club.
Yeah, he just seems to get into stuff that the other media necessarily won't
Yeah.
talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'll never be president because I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
I just want to just wish
Yeah.
Mr. Trump well. He's got less than 24 hours, and by the time this show airs, he'll already be the president. But,
Yeah.
Whatever a person's religious beliefs are or their political beliefs, I think it's time for people to unite.
Oh, it is. Yeah, that's just the way our system goes. If you
Yeah.
want to have political battles after the inauguration,
Yeah, that's
do it,
fine, but-
respect the inauguration, respect the process,
I know, and
respect
I
the
have
office.
to agree with that. Even, and I know there's people that'll probably watch this that'll be like, ugh, but
You know, it doesn't matter whether it's Trump or somebody, or
Yeah, it
Reagan, or
could
even
be,
Hillary.
yeah,
Even with
whoever.
Hillary, I'd watch that.
Of course.
If I were a representative, I'd show it. I'm going to support the process and the office.
Yeah,
the
just
office
the
of the
office, yeah,
presidency
just
and
the
the
respect
transfer of
thing,
power.
you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I will be watching that tomorrow, and I'm very, very curious. And I can imagine there are a lot of prayers going up. But I said this before.
Yeah.
There might be a reason why.
I
Mr.
think so.
Trump
I
won.
think so. Yeah.
I mean, from a spiritual
Yes,
point of
exactly.
view. And think about it. I shared this story before.
Mhm.
The story in the book of Esther in the
Yes.
Old Testament. Now, Esther came from obscurity,
Mm-hmm.
literally. She didn't even have parents. She was raised by her uncle Mordecai.
Mm-hmm.
And so, King Xerxes, this is a cool story.
Yeah.
King Xerxes was king at that time, married to Vashti. And so Vashti was a good-looking queen. And Xerxes wanted to show off her beauty to his dignitaries. And she said, no, I'm not going to parade myself in front of these guys.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was sexual or anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, the king's advisor said, if you let that woman get away with that, then all the wives will disrespect their husbands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they got rid of Queen Vashti, which I guess that was probably tacky. Maybe it was a divorce, whatever. I don't know. It doesn't say in the Old Testament, but anyway, the king got rid of her, and then they had a beauty pageant. This is a cool story where I'm leading up to. They had a beauty pageant,
Uh-huh.
and this obscure Jewish girl named Esther was entered into that contest
Yep.
and wound up winning that contest, and she became the queen.
Yep.
And Mordecai told her, don't tell that king you're Jewish. Keep that secret.
Yep.
And that was wise counsel. And I think the Jewish people are wonderful people, but I
Yeah,
think that was
exactly.
good counsel.
Oh, yes.
So, Esther becomes the queen.
Uh-huh.
You'll see where I'm leading up.
Yes.
Esther becomes the queen, and then the king promoted a guy named Haman.
Yeah.
And so everybody was like paying homage to Haman.
Mm-hmm.
But Mordecai said, I'm not going to bow down to this guy. I don't care who he is.
Yeah.
And so because of that, Haman gets ticked off and said, okay, you're not going to bow to me? I'm going to not only kill you, I'm going to kill your whole race. I'm going to wipe out the whole Jewish race.
Mm-hmm.
But what Haman didn't know is that the queen was Jewish.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So when the word came out that Haman was going to wipe out the Jewish nation, Mordecai tells his daughter that he raised the queen.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody goes into like 3 days of prayer because the queen had to tell the king was going to happen, but you couldn't just go to the king because if you were not invited, you could get your head cut off.
Oh, yeah.
So they prayed for like 3 days, right? And then the queen says, okay, if I get my head cut off, I'll just have to get it cut off. So she goes to her old husband, and instead of the husband offing her head, what are you doing in my presence?
Yeah.
He takes the scepter, which means you're accepted.
Exactly.
So the queen goes to the king, and the king is happy to see his own wife. He has some funny rules. He could have cut her head off.
Yeah, exactly.
But he goes, Queen, I'll give you anything you want since you're in my presence, up to half the kingdom. She says, I don't want your kingdom. I just want to set up a banquet. So they invite Haman to the banquet. This is a cool story.
Yeah.
And so the king, the queen, and Haman are at this banquet, right? And then the king says, okay, we had this banquet. What do you want? The queen says, I want a second banquet. To get the king really in a good mood, right?
Exactly.
So they have this second banquet, and then the king's in a good mood. He's like, I'll give you anything you want, up to half the kingdom. What do you want? She says, I want you to save the life of the Jewish people, my people.
Yeah.
There's a decree set out to kill all the Jews, and that king got ticked. He's like, who dare put a decree to kill the Jewish people? And the queen says, the guy sitting right next to you. That was such a cool setup.
Yeah, definitely.
And so that king walked off his throne. He was half-past ticked.
Oh, yeah.
He was ticked, but he was half-past ticked. And so then Haman's like, you got to save my life. You got to spare me, right? After he wants to wipe out the Jews, right? You know, what goes around comes around. But anyway, the king comes back and sees this guy begging for his life, and in the king's eyes, it looked like he was hitting on her. And he wasn't really hitting on her. He was just begging for his life, but you know how sometimes things could appear, and that really set that king off. And what had happened was Haman had these gallows, like these 50-foot gallows. He was going to hang Mordecai for not bowing down, which was the queen's father that raised him. So one of the king's advisors said, hey, this guy was going to hang Mordecai after he saved your life, king. You ought to hang Haman on the gallows that he was going to hang Mordecai on. So the king gave the order, and they hung that guy. They hung him on the same gallows that he was going to use for Queen Esther's father that raised her. And they hung his 10 sons, too. Because I think they were in on that conspiracy. Now, where I'm going with this, Donald Trump is going to become president, and people got their nose all bent out of shape. How do you know 2 or 3 years from now some worldwide catastrophe may not happen, and Mr. Trump might be the perfect person to fix it?
Exactly.
So that's why I wanted to share that story. You know, they said on, I don't know if it was J Secular Radio or what, but they said that people should be praying now because the people have spoken.
Exactly.
And I'm not here to dog on Miss Clinton, Secretary Clinton. I'm just saying that the people have made a choice.
Exactly.
And I know that Mr. Trump may have said some things that made people uncomfortable, but a majority have spoken. And I think people need to give this man a chance because it may not be as bad as people are perceiving.
Exactly.
See? Just like Queen Esther.
Exactly.
This lady who was just obscure. And if you think about it, Donald Trump in a sense was obscure in the political world because he's never held political office. He's never been in the military.
Nope.
But he may be the perfect person for something that might happen a few years from
Absolutely.
now. And so I shared that story in the Old Testament about Queen Esther because you never know. So I wanted to share that with our TV audience.
Exactly.
And, people should unite and start praying. And so when the inauguration takes place tomorrow, I will be watching. And I'll leave it at that. So anyway, let's play a tune here. Play this again. I like this part. You remember the name of this song?
Lucia?
It's close, Santa Lucia.
Close. I had Lucia in there.
Well,
at least I got it close.
Yeah,
The
Santa
drive.
Lucia, Santa Lucia. But anyway, what else was I gonna share with you? This weather. Getting back to the weather. I think Montana is one of the most beautiful states. I know
It
where our
is.
Honolulu's set, which
Mhm.
Honolulu, Hawaii
Yeah.
is a beautiful place.
Mhm.
Now, I've never been to Hawaii, but Luis and I were talking about Honolulu. I
Mhm.
was once considered
Mhm.
to play the piano
Mhm.
in Honolulu. This was like about 10 years ago. The Nordstrom company was looking for a pianist at the time, and they gave me a 30-minute interview over the telephone because they were in Honolulu and I was here in Montana at that time. I wasn't in Missoula at that time. And at the last minute, they decided to go another direction.
Mhm.
Now, my salary would have been, it would have been 14 to 24 an hour. I mean, I'm sorry, 18 to 24 an hour, somewhere
Wow.
around there with benefits.
Wow.
And but
Yeah.
the good Lord probably had a better plan because I wouldn't
Yeah.
have Asaph Cafe. I told Luis
Yeah.
that, and I wouldn't have my autobiography, Supermarket Pianist, and I wouldn't have that new Lawrence Welk show and all the other stuff. So it's just
Yeah.
funny how things work. It's really funny.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely.
But I feel blessed,
Mhm.
I'm here. I've been in Missoula almost 9 years now. Oh, maybe I'm
Yeah.
about 9 years now. But I've been in Montana almost 21 years.
I've been in Montana since 1984.
And I've been here since 96.
Yep.
I started in Billings and I played the piano there for like 12 years, different places, Billings Hotel and so on. And now I'm here, so.
Yeah.
But I think I might even get my VCR out tomorrow and just tape the whole inauguration. But that might be impossible because they said that it's going to be going on all day long.
Well, they'll have the inauguration where he's sworn in, then he'll make his first speech.
But
then there'll be
covering-
dances and
I know, but they'll be
bowls and-
covering news thing
Yeah.
prior to that. No telling how long that's going to take, Hey, would you hand me that?
Yeah. I won't be able to record it because my VCR is broken. It plays, but it doesn't record. I would be
Oh, really?
recording it, yeah.
Maybe I can make you a copy of
Yeah,
that.
thanks.
Well,
That's-
I don't know. It depends on. Well, later on today, I'll see if I can get some VHS tapes. First of all, VHS tapes are hard to find.
Uh-huh.
And then you got to get the kind that probably has about 6 hours
Yeah,
worth of recording time. Something like that,
Something fascinating, yes.
Well, yeah, because that might take. I mean, just the inauguration part might take hours and hours. You know how the news will start when they
Yeah.
introduce other people. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That might take. Because they said something on television about it might take all day. And I don't know.
Well,
if
that
I'll
would be
able
the
to-
balls. I mean, they're going to have the prayers and they're going to have someone to speak, and then he takes the oath of office,
Yeah.
Then he
so-
takes it. So, and then they'll have the parade, balls and inaugurations and the parade, and then he'll probably dance somewhere with his wife and children. And there'll be dances and some fun things. And
I'm gonna play the Lord's Prayer on,
Yes.
for Mr.
Yeah.
Trump.
yeah, so that's what they'll have, That's exactly what they'll have, yeah.
Something like. Beautiful song. That's the mood that they should have tomorrow.
Yes, I agree.
I'm leading up to something with this song. I'm gonna stop right there. I want to make a quick tribute to a friend that we just recently lost.
Yeah.
His name was Dan Sackett. He was the bus driver for the Mountain Line
Oh, yes.
bus. I don't know if you knew him. He was the guy that said, "Good morning, good
No,
morning."
no,
It'd
no.
be like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And
Yeah,
people get
yeah.
on the bus. He's like, "Good morning, good
Uh-huh.
morning, good morning."
Yeah.
So Mary, if you see this, and I'm sure you will when we post it, we want to do a quick tribute to Dan on television. I played for his memorial service. I think it was last week sometime.
Yeah.
Well, we lost him on Thanksgiving Day, 2016, but Mary wanted to wait till after the holiday. So as to not offset
Yes,
people's
exactly,
holidays and
exactly.
stuff. So they finally had his memorial service at the St. Anthony's Parish.
Yeah.
And I was really humbled to get the opportunity to be a small part of that, and play the piano for that. So when we post this, I'll tell Mary that we did a brief minor tribute to Dan Sackett. He was a wonderful person, a wonderful human being, and he was just a fine bus driver.
Wonderful.
I don't know if you ever met him or ever rode his bus.
No, I don't know.
He just was such a delight, just such a delightful person. And he was always fun to talk to. He'd be driving the bus and talking to people, and he was just a wonderful guy.
Wonderful.
So he's in heaven now with the Lord, and I know that probably doesn't necessarily make Mrs. Sackett feel comfortable when you've been with someone for over 40 years, but yeah, Dan was a wonderful person. We're wishing good thoughts for Mary Sackett, her family. So we wanted to do this slight tribute on television, and I'll let her know. So he was really a kind soul. I wish you could have known him.
Yeah, wonderful.
He was so fun. You could just get on his bus and just ride, and just talk, and just ride.
Wow,
you didn't even have to go nowhere. Just, oh, Dad, I want to hang out with you on the bus for about an hour. By the time you cycle around from downtown and back to downtown. So it was fun.
Yeah.
But they had a beautiful memorial service for him. And I was impressed with the music of the other musicians that were doing their thing. Like this lady, I don't know her name, but she played this beautiful organ music. And then they had like some other players in the back that were doing their thing. And it was wonderful. So,
Wonderful.
Yeah, Mountain Lion bus in Missoula. They're gonna miss him, but he was a delight. Just a delightful person. And I'm gonna miss him too, I have to admit. I'm gonna miss good morning, good morning, good morning. He'd be like 10 people get on there. Any time of the day, it was always good morning. So, but I'm glad I could mention him on this episode of Asaph Cafe. And for those who don't know this show, this is Asaph Cafe, and the premise of this show, we invite a person every week, and they just talk to me as I play the piano about whatever they want to talk about. Of course, you and I have been doing these series of one-on-ones, which is good too. It's a hit. Yeah, people are watching, and like some of the things that Emmett and I have talked about, like remember the debate we had with Star Trek?
Yeah, I loved that.
That was fun. Scott Ranf was here, and you guys debated which was a better series, Star Trek, the original with William Shatner, or the Next Generation.
Yeah, that was excellent. Yeah.
With Patrick Stewart, and that was a fun debate.
Yeah, it was.
And you and I have talked about things over time, like science fiction, time tunnel, and Lost in Space and Land of the Giants that they're showing on MeTV.
Yeah, easy listening. We're doing a lot of
easy listening
music. That's something we both love so much.
And we've talked about conductors and composers and Herb Alpert.
Yeah.
And just fun, easy listening music. And we've had guests on this show throughout the series of this show. Linda Brooks Curtis, delightful lady. Louise Bunday, she's been on this show on occasion. And we've had, of course, Patty Reed, our former hostess. She's no longer with us. And Pee Wee, our mascot.
Oh, yeah, I remember that very much so.
And this show has just gone through changes. And, of course, Professor Robert Greene at the university was on. And it was just a delight having him on. And just all the other people that have appeared on this show throughout the history of this show. Because this show's it's about 2.5 years old now. And it's just been so fun.
Yeah, well, definitely.
And but I always enjoy the one-on-ones.
Oh, definitely.
They're a lot of fun. And we've talked about Christ on this show. We even had invitations to accept Christ as Savior on this show, and that got good reviews. And it's just fun, But as for this new year, I'm going to start trying to bring in newer faces for the show and stuff like that. And it's been fun.
Yeah.
And then another thing too, I think I shared with you, I'm trying to get a job with ABC. thanks to Noelle McAvoy. We did a tribute to Noelle. Hey, let's do it. It was the tribute that got lost. Let's do a short tribute to Noelle.
Yeah.
Noelle, if you see this, we did a tribute to you on the last show, but the show got lost. So we'll do a quick tribute to you now.
Yep.
Yeah, Noelle McAvoy, she's a delightful lady.
Mm-hmm.
Very professional in her reporting Wake Up Missoula and her city council news and city and local events at the time when she was here.
Yep.
So I just wish her well. I think she's going to be a wonderful journalist in the world of journalism.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to take the world by storm, and I'm going to be watching her career with interest because I just think she is very good. She'll probably be the next Barbara Walters or something like that.
Yeah.
Who are some of the other? Do you know some of these famous lady? Katie Couric, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Or Wendy Williams, or I don't know, whoever. It'll be Noelle McAvoy, and I will be an old man by then watching. Just going, yeah, go ahead, girl.
Yeah.
So Noelle, if you ever see this, Emmett and I wish you the best.
Yep.
Okay. You wanted to talk about those
Corduroy books. How much time do we have, though?
Let's see. We still got about 15 minutes. You want to
That
talk
would
about
be excellent. On the show that got lost, we were talking about various things, even children's books. Ever hear of Corduroy? I love Corduroy.
I'm not familiar with that, so you can tell the audience.
It's about a
that.
teddy bear. Basically, I didn't bring the first book, but it was his first in the 60s, and he was a toy teddy bear on a shelf in a department store. And then he started exploring the department store at night because he was missing a button, and he wanted to find a lost button, but then one of the nightmen came and saw him and put him back on the shelf, and then this little girl found him, brought him home, and fixed up his button. And so at first he stayed with this little girl. It kind of looked like an inner city, but then later he moved. I don't know how it happened, but he moved out on his own with some, this is just so adorable, with like Corduroy's Easter party. He moved in to his own cabin in the wilderness or something, and it's based on the character created by Don Freeman, illustrated by Lisa McHugh. If I could cue this up, is this the, where's the camera? Oh, this is the camera, not the other one. Oh, Corduroy's Easter party. Corduroy and his friends are planning an Easter party. Join them as they shop for Easter treats, decorate eggs, and wait for a very special long-eared guest. Will the Easter Bunny actually come? You know what I love to do during the Easter time, or at any time, what I love to do is put on like George Winston or easy listening guitar from Windham Hill and, read this book. It is perfect for.
Well, why don't you read a short little story? And that was called the Teddy Bear Picnic. That
here. I'll just. I won't read the whole thing, but I'll just glance at some of it.
Okay.
It was the day before Easter, and Corduroy and his friends were at the playground. Puppy was having no luck getting his kite up in the air, but he didn't mind. Everyone was happy because tomorrow they were having an Easter party. Dolly said, "I can't wait to see what the Easter Bunny brings us." And there is the Easter Bunny. He looks like a wild rabbit. The way they drew this is so beautiful. But they were going to have a party. Corduroy didn't say anything. Everyone had no doubt that the Easter Bunny was real, but deep down, Corduroy wasn't so sure. After all, nobody had ever seen the Easter Bunny. But he didn't want to spoil the fun. He kept his doubts to himself, and there's the Easter Bunny again.
Yeah, the Easter Bunny's not showing up very well.
This is just so beautiful. They were at the department store. Oh, and they were planning for. Oh, there's the Easter Bunny again, watching them in that rain barrel. Oh, look at this beautiful, these flowers. Oh, that is gorgeous. You can't see it very well, but back at Corduroy's house, nobody could wait to start decorating eggs. They made pink ones, blue ones, ones with spots and stripes. When they were dry, Corduroy gathered all the eggs and put them in a basket. And if you can see this, I know it can't show up on camera, but the newspapers say McHugh Times. Let's see, Karsten. Kenny Karsten. Amy Rand, and you can actually see Emma Huey Times. They actually are so detailed. You can see some of the graphs of this beautiful heavenly town that they were in. And they had the Easter party and all this beauty.
Okay.
But Corduroy did not know what to say.
So that's like a children's book, right?
It is.
What did they make a television show or anything?
I think they might have on PBS.
May I see that book for a second?
And then the Easter Bunny did come when they were out searching for Easter eggs.
You know, I know that the Easter season is really more about Christ.
I
but
know.
I think it's fun when you have
I think it's adorable.
little eggs and stories.
I
like
think
that.
it's adorable, yeah.
As long as people know that Christ is
Absolutely.
the real emphasis. But
Absolutely.
I think that's harmless, you know.
Yeah, and Corduroy's Christmas surprise,
That's
that
what
was
it's called.
beautifully done.
Is that the name of the bear, Corduroy?
Yeah, the bear's name is Corduroy.
That's interesting, like corduroy pants, huh? Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. And this is corduroy
Yes.
Christmas, and the other one
Yes.
is corduroy Easter.
Easter party, yeah. And that was
Let me
a
take a look at this here.
Yes, certainly. It's so beautifully done.
Let me read a few
Yeah.
sentences here. There, let's get into my narration voice and see if I
Yeah.
have a narration voice. There was only a week to go until Christmas, and Corduroy could hardly wait.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the best times of the year.
Yeah.
Corduroy loved the smell of his Christmas tree, of which I still have my Christmas tree at home. But I have an artificial tree,
Yeah.
you know. So, and you know what's cool about having that is, even though it's not Christmas anymore, if I want to plug it in like 4th
Yeah.
of July or something, okay, let's get back into my narration, see if I can do this. Maybe I'll get a job as a narrator.
Yeah, that'd be great, yeah.
You know, like Sir Anthony Hopkins, you know, he narrates the
Yes,
Grinch,
yes.
the Grinch movie.
Mhm.
Brilliant job. Corduroy loved taking the ornaments and lights out of the closet. He loved stringing popcorn and berries and trimming the tree. And that was only the beginning. Corduroy's list of fun things to do at Christmas time went on and on and on. How am I doing as my narrator?
Very well.
All right, this will be the final page here. This year, Corduroy thought to himself, self? That's not in there, I just added
Yeah.
that. Christmas was going to be even more fun than usual. His best friend Mouse, Rabbit, Dolly, and Puppy were coming over to spend Christmas Day at Corduroy's house. And he had little gifts for his guests. I'm sorry, but excuse me. So he pulled out the wrapping paper, tape, and ribbons. Wrapping presents always got Corduroy in the holiday spirit.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop right
It's
there.
just adorable.
It is.
Then
it
the
is,
Santa
it
Claus
is.
does come in. What he basically, just to skip over, he wrote a letter for Santa Claus wondering, I would like ice skates, a sweater, and trains, and a ball for me. But then he realized, you know what, they also wanted all of those things, and he wondered, what if there are not enough presents to go around? What if Corduroy got what he wanted, but his friends didn't? So, Corduroy pulled out a new piece of paper and wrote another letter to Santa. This is what it said. Dear Santa, please bring ice skates for Dolly, sweater for Rabbit, trains for Puppy, and a ball for Mouse. I really don't need anything this year. Thank you, Corduroy. Then he was making, this is adorable, some cookies, and it's so detailed. He has a pot of tea on the stove, and there's tea, sugar, and flour, and it says cookies. So in that old-fashioned stove, and then he's in his pajamas, and then he's sleeping. But then there's, guess what? The Corduroy rushed to the living room to find lots of presents under the tree. There's one for the mouse, and one for Rabbit, and could it be one for Corduroy too, an extra present for each of them, because Santa had been there. Corduroy was a little surprised. Now he really couldn't wait for his friends to arrive. And even Rabbit got a book about Christmas and some other things.
You know what that book reminds me of?
What?
When you're those characters like Rabbit, so it makes me think of Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, it is almost similar in a sense.
Let me play that, see if I
It
can
almost is similar, but I never got into Winnie the Pooh, but I love Corduroy. But yeah, this very much so. So I just love the Corduroy books. I love them. They've even made Corduroy's Thanksgiving, and where he ate Thanksgiving dinner.
Cool.
Yep.
Hey, let me have some of that secret ingredient if you got it.
So definitely.
I'm glad you got to share your Corduroy story. That's delightful for children.
Yeah, it is.
And I think that's something we've never really quite done on the cafe before.
We
But that's
never
what makes it
have.
fun. Yeah, I'm glad you did that. And the 2 tributes we did, and secret ingredient, for those who don't know what we mean by secret ingredient, it's not alcohol.
Nope.
There's a scene in Star Trek V where Captain Kirk, Dr. McCoy, and Mr. Spock are on shore leave, and they're having a camp out. And Dr. McCoy's making beans. This is for the TV audience who don't know.
Yes.
They're making beans, and Dr. McCoy's secret ingredient was alcohol put into the beans. And Spock is like, I've never tasted anything quite like this before. What is this? And Spock tells, Dr. McCoy tells Mr. Spock it's alcohol, Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah.
Am I to assume that your secret ingredient is alcohol? And so Dr. McCoy says, that's a family tradition. And then Captain Kirk says, you got any more of that secret ingredient?
Yeah.
So we use that on the show as a joke. It's
Yep.
We're just drinking cola is all
Exactly.
it is. Secret ingredient.
Yep.
Thanks to William Shatner.
Yeah, definitely.
Captain Kirk. So anyway, I just wanted to clear that up for the
Wonderful,
television audience.
Yep.
Let's see how much time we have. We got about 10 minutes left.
Fascinating.
Not even that much, more like seven minutes or something. But hey, I think a prayer got answered. You got through this show.
I did.
allergies,
Yeah, wonderful. Maybe that one allergy pill kicked in or something, or just out in a different environment. Yeah.
Well, I like to think that prayer kicked in
Definitely.
too. And stuff like that. So, wow. 2017. Can you believe?
Yeah.
2017. You got any plans this year?
Well, one thing, maybe we could talk about this because we talked about last week and it didn't get aired. Last week's didn't get aired. I never make New Year's resolutions.
That's right.
I never make New Year's resolutions. A lot of people do. I like the way my life's going. And New Year's resolutions always get broken, so I never make them.
Yeah, but I mean, just like any particular plan.
Oh,
like
just
with
my
me.
garden. Just
Yeah.
my garden. I'm looking forward to my garden this year. I don't know what I'm going to plant, but...
Yeah, with me, just
Flowers.
to see if I can get that job with ABC. In fact, Scott's going to help me put a DVD together after we tape this show. And you remember I told you I did my top 10 musical notes with Asaph, the Asaph stories? We're going to crop it to where instead of the whole show, just go to the immediate story, and I'll put 10 on one DVD to present it to stations. So that's what I'm going to do later on today.
Wonderful.
I'm hoping that I'll get that job with ABC because I want to tell those stories. Because you know what's good about those stories? And I think you've seen a couple of them.
Yes.
I don't talk about their personal lives.
Yeah.
I just focus on the accomplishments and the contributions that they've done. And it just makes it delightful. So that's...
Yeah.
I'm going to... Scott and I's going to help me. He's going to help me put that together today. And I need to do that today.
Yeah.
And there's an ABC station here on Stevens Drive, I think it is.
Yep.
And my name has already been sent statewide. They sent my name and the video links to all the ABC stations throughout the state of Montana. But I think I need to go to the next step and have a physical DVD. So I can visualize it more. So that's what we're going to do this afternoon.
Yeah.
Let's see, how much time do we have left? Any final things you want to say?
Let's see. I can't really think of any, and I've run out of surreal jokes, you know.
Well, that's okay. I know what I can say.
Right.
It's 2017, and Emmett and I want to wish everybody a happy 2017 and hope that this will be a good year for you. You know, whatever your dreams are, follow your dreams.
Definitely.
You know, don't be like that Sinatra song. You know that song, "Put Your Dreams Away for Another Day."
Definitely.
And I think it's a beautiful song that Sinatra put out. But no, you don't want to put your dreams away for another.
No, you do
want
not.
to follow your dreams.
You
but
do.
It's a beautiful melody. Let me play a piece of it for you.
Oh, I have heard this on the easy listening stations. Somewhere... Wait, is it the same one? Yes, they've done beautiful instrumentals of this that I've just loved. Even with DMX, that was kind of cable radio hooked up. That was years ago, but I've heard this. Yeah, I have it on tape, so it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'll do it for you.
Yep. Oh, it's beautiful.
It is a beautiful song.
But the words are horrible. Put your dreams away from... No, never do that. I always thought it made me think of sunshine and flowers. But that's what I want to do this year, get my garden going again in spring and summertime, you know.
Yeah, you know, they played that for Frank Sinatra's Homegoing.
Yeah.
That was the theme song to his Homegoing.
Homegoing?
Well, when we lost him.
Oh, yes.
When we lost him. Because from what I understand on the documentaries, his daughter Nancy and all the people involved thought that was the appropriate song.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to agree with it. It's a beautiful melody, and I know the context of the song, but no, you don't want to put your dreams on.
No, you don't.
You want to follow those dreams. So the point of this, at the conclusion of this, is we hope that people will follow their dreams.
Yep.
And my dream is ABC. And if I get on there, I'll be like, thank you, God. Because I want to tell those Asaph stories on the ABC
Exactly.
network. So that's my goal. So, having said that about follow your dreams, this is Asaph Cafe, and we're season 11. This is episode 3. It should have been 4, but it's episode 3. And this time the sound went through perfectly, and we didn't make any mistakes. I didn't touch anything. I told Scott I wasn't going to touch any of the equipment or anything.
Yeah.
And once it's adjusted, plus we have double mics to make
Yes.
sure. Any final words?
Can't think of any.
All right.
Normally
well,
I think of surreal jokes, but I'm running out of them.
That's
Oddly.
okay. Don't worry about it. I guess this is Asaph Cafe. I'm your host, Asaph and Emmett. Affectionately on my left, our aging rocker Emmett. Thank you for tuning in. Until our next show, Maranatha. Freeze on that chord. Well, make yourself at home. We'll shut everything down and
Yep.
make you a copy.